Yo, DK, when will you make more top 10s? I've actually made 2 top 10s since then. YouTube search engine is just so fucked up that you weren't told about them. But anyway guys, what's up? We are back with yet another Final Fantasy Top 10 Countdown. Now, everybody seems to have that one character in the game that they just never ever use. This list might cause some debate because in most cases, this is solely due to personal preference. Everybody has their own personal reasons for not using a character. In most cases, I'm a pervert and I try to use as many females as I possibly can. But sometimes I refuse to use a character simply because they are just completely useless in battle. And just to be clear right now, I am not talking about the actual characters themselves. So sorry Snow haters, he will not be on this list. But anyway guys, it's go time. These are the top 10 most useless characters in Final Fantasy. And don't even think for a second that Rika will be on this list. You just don't know how to use her. Okay, now everybody knew that this guy would definitely be on the list, but no, he is not number 1. Number 10 is Edward from Final Fantasy IV. In all honesty, the only reason why he's on this list is because if I don't put him here, then all of you are going to consider this list not legit. This Spoonie Bard is infamous for being one of the wimpiest characters in the entire series. His stats sucks, his weapon sucks, his special ability sucks, and the most annoying thing about him is his auto hiding ability. I know he's only a supporting character, but so are the other guys, and they can defend themselves a lot better than he can. You'll be a lot better off leaving him KO so that he doesn't eat up your experience points. So what prevented him from being number 1? Well, you see, in the original game, you're only forced to use him for a short period of time. However, in the Game Boy Advance and PSP versions, later on in the game, he's actually the strongest character in the game. His equipment is completely broken and his stats skyrocket. But I don't think anybody cares because at the beginning of the game, he sucked so bad that nobody even gave this guy a chance. Number 9, Vincent from Final Fantasy VII. Oh, DK, how dare you diss Vincent? Dislike the video! Okay, fanboys and fangirls, Vincent may be a kick-ass character, but I have absolutely no use for him on the battlefield. Allow me to explain. In this game, all of your characters feel pretty much exactly the same. There are only 2 things that separate one character from another: the character's ultimate weapon and their limit breaks. Unfortunately for Vincent, he is inferior in both categories. When you first obtain his ultimate weapon, it does shit damage and it takes quite a long time to power this thing up. His limit commands are kinda cool, but they have 2 weaknesses. The first weakness is the simple fact that you cannot control him during this time. The second weakness is the fact that he attacks with elements. If you're not careful, you might find yourself actually healing your opponents. Combine this with the fact that the other characters' limit breaks do a lot more damage than he does, I don't see any reason to use this guy unless you are a fanboy or a fangirl. Number 8 is Vivi from Final Fantasy IX. This is where most of us are going to disagree because there are many different opinions about the most useless character in Final Fantasy IX. Some say Garnet, fuck you guys. Some say Aiko, but for me personally, it was Vivi. My original plan was to choose Quina, but Quina is actually pretty damn good. I just don't like him. Now Vivi is by no means a useless party member. I just don't have a use for him. For the most part, this game is very, very easy. Zidane and Steiner alone can handle pretty much anything in the game. But there are a few battles that can be quite tricky. Vivi has very powerful black magic, but that's pretty much his only trick. Garnet and Aiko are white mages who can actually defend themselves. When I need them to heal, they can heal. When I need them to kill something, they can kill something. Everybody has their own different style of playing. And for me personally, in this game, I like to use 2 white mages just in case something horribly goes wrong. But make no mistake, You're probably going to be using Vivi a lot at the beginning of the game. It's just that for me, once Aiko joined, I had no use for him at all. Yes guys, I have finally played Final Fantasy Tactics. Sorry it took me so long. I should have played it a long time ago. This game was pretty fun. I really enjoyed it. I tried to give every character a fair chance, and it did not take me very long for me to choose my main party for the rest of the main game. This is one of those games in which you can pretty much develop your characters in any way you choose. There are of course a few exceptions. Early on in the game, you catch a yellow chocobo known as Boku. Unfortunately, yellow chocobos are not that good in battle. You can use them as a distraction, but that's pretty much it. It's more of a nuisance if anything. After a few days, you'll suddenly notice a whole flock of chocobos in your party. The sad part is, you're not breeding them so you can battle with them. You are doing this so you can kill them. You heartless bastards! But rare chocobos are kind of fun to use, and there's a certain battle later on in the game that if you have a purple chocobo, the fight gets so much easier. Other than that, I have absolutely no use for Boku.
Blasphemers!
Number 6. Kumari from Final Fantasy X. Kumari's setup solely depends on the person who's playing the game. But you see, every job is already covered very well. Kumari has absolutely no spot on the battlefield. Square even decided to be a total dick to him and completely leave him out on one of the best grinding spots in the entire game. Outside of Stone Breath, his overdrives are really not that good, and even this can be covered simply by tossing a Petrify Grenade. Everything he does is completely inferior to the other characters. Kumari really only has one good thing going for him, and that's his ability to learn the Steal and Use command long before Riku joins the party. Speaking of which, this is the route I recommend you take Kumari. Having a second thief is nice, but more importantly, during the battle with B-Ryan and Yankee, you can actually steal level 3 key spheres, and these things are pretty hard to get. This is the best use I have for Kumari. After this battle, I never use him again. Number 5. Selphie from Final Fantasy VIII. It was very difficult for me to put her on this list because I really like her a lot. Unless you're spamming limit commands as much as possible, pretty much every character in this game is bad, because without them, combat can get quite annoying and very laggy. This of course is the very reason why Selphie is on this list. Her limits suck and that's all there is to it. Most of her limit commands are double and triple versions of regular spells, and although you can do some pretty OP stuff at the beginning of the game like Flare, Ultimate, and Aura, it's too random to be reliable. Her other 4 limit commands would have been useful if I can actually choose them at will, but no, you can't. It's random. Fuck that. Why the hell would you waste your time trying to bring out Full Cure and Wall when Christy can easily cast White Wind and Mighty Guard? Raptor would have been very nice, but again, Christy has Degenerator, and I can choose it anytime I wish. Yes, I know she can instantly kill a Mega Weapon in one turn, but unless you're cheating by freezing the game, you'll most likely be dead before she can get it out. If anything, at the early stages of the game, I would try to get Selphie to cast Aura on Squall, because you can't actually obtain this spell for quite a long time. Of course, when you can obtain it, Selphie becomes completely useless. Number 4. Omaru from Final Fantasy VI. Did I even say his name right? Picking the most useless character in this game was very difficult because in all honesty, you most likely won't use half of the characters in this game. Terra, Locke, and Celis. That's all you really need. For the most part, this game really has no bad characters. You'll probably try them all out once just to see what they can do. But there's one character in which after you try, you will never use him again. That honor belongs to Omaru. This guy sits on the bench for the whole game for a very, very good reason. You cannot control his actions in battle, ever. This guy is basically in permanent berserk. All he does is attack, 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 and attack some more. If you give him the Blizzard Orb, he can cast an Ice Spell, which is okay, but still not good enough. But at least the dinosaurs are weak to it. To the serious players who like to exploit the game and max out all your characters, this guy might be of some use to you. When you're leveling up your characters, you might want to do this one character at a time. Of course, the best place to level up is the Dino Force. Unfortunately, until your stats are very high, you don't want to do this by yourself. Omaru can provide you with just enough support to kill these guys. That's the only use I have for this guy. And by the way, who the hell said Ram sucks? Fuck you! Final Fantasy Type 0. There are still many people who have yet to play this game. It's pretty decent, you'll get used to it. There's a total of 14 playable characters and they all have completely different battle styles. Because of this, you might want to try them all out. However, there is one character that you will probably bench without a second thought. And this of course is Sync. You do one mission with Sync and you will quickly realize why nobody likes to use this girl. She is very, very slow. Unfortunately, most of the AI opponents in this game read your inputs. They know how to dodge. Now she does have her uses in certain missions. There are quite a few large enemies who cannot dodge, and Sync hits very, very hard. She can bring them down in mere seconds, but even then, you're probably better off just casting magic. Until you get infinite free cast, don't plan on using Sync anytime soon. Once you do get free cast, however, at that point, it really doesn't matter who you pick. Free cast is so broken that even the toughest opponents in this game simply don't stand a chance once you get it.
Oh, not bad.
I mean seriously, what the fuck? Who in their right minds would even consider using this thing? Like I said before, in this game there are only two things that separate one character from another: their ultimate weapons and their limit breaks. Cat C's ultimate weapon is pretty decent, but you don't get it until very late in the game. But that's not the problem. The problem is the fact that his limit breaks completely suck. For starters, he only has two of them, and as you just saw, the first one is not that good. The second one might have been reliable, except for one minor detail. Slots. I fucking hate slots. Especially when you can potentially end up killing yourself in the process. But DK, you like Tifa's slot, don't you? Well, you see, her slots are a lot easier to do, and also, she's pretty good to look at. Why lie about it? Just like Selfie, he can potentially kill the bosses in one hit. But there's a good reason why this attack was called Instant Victory for a very long time, because it's so rare that many people have never actually seen it before. The official name of this limit break is called Game Over. The first two are very easy to get. It's the last one you gotta worry about. Regardless of what anybody says, this thing is random. All the other choices are very accurate. Unfortunately, when you try to get that last piece of the face, the game decides to be a dick and it automatically passes it. I tried for 3 hours and I couldn't get this thing to work for this video, so for that reason, I'm gonna dig up my old video that I made 9 years ago. Please excuse the bad quality. Pausing the slots does not work on that last piece of the face. It lands there when it wants to. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because this game is so easy, the combat system is so broken, it doesn't matter who you pick. And now we are at the bottom of the barrel. So who's worse than Cat Seath? This game is very fun, it's got a lot of characters, and trust me, you'll want to try using everybody, except for one character. It's that bad. This is the most useless character in Final Fantasy. Oh my god, I actually managed to kill something with Harley. You thought Edward was bad? I will happily take Edward over Harley any day. She is just fucking terrible. Her stacks suck and her special abilities are completely useless. The one thing she had going for her might have been somewhat useful, except for the fact that it fails most of the time. The sad part is, it seems like she was meant to be a mage of some sort. She can equip magical rods, has decent magic stats, but no, she has no magic attacks to use them with. Her strongest attack is her guild toss, and that's not saying much. I can't believe a character can be this bad. It's almost as if she's an unfinished character. I might be completely wrong about her. Maybe she gets better at a high level, but considering how long it takes to level up in this game, I don't think anybody's going to give her a chance. Even if you wanted to bring the weaker characters to a high level, you'll have a hard time doing it because you won't be able to keep them alive long enough. One of her bands is pretty decent, but in order for her to use it, guess who needs to be in the party? Edward. Of course. There's a lot of debate about the worst characters in this game, and usually it's between Kalka, Brina, and Harley. I tried to use all of them in the final dungeon, and after careful consideration, I choose Harley. Kalka and Brina are bad, yes, but they do have a few useful tricks up their sleeve, and at least they're kind of fun to use. Harley is not even fun, and she's terrible. Whatever you do, do not use Harley in this game. She sucks.